So, a couple of days ago, I was playing War Thunder and listening to this song. And this song was made by an artist I was exploring on Spotify. So I just went to their page and just started listening to all their music. And as I was playing War Thunder, I think I think it's called the Poland map. And I was at the south side of the lake at Sea Point on that big old hill overlooking the little town, fighting around there, and then this song starts playing. And I'll leave that song in the description. But, I had the novelty of that first time experience of something. And I hit sort of emotional flow state where you just kind of let the emotions flow through you. And that, like water, is how it was. Flowing like water. And I tried to observe these emotions, because I wanted to understand what I'm feeling, to be able to recreate it and all that. But it just immediately fell apart. Trying to observe it ruined that flow, and I no longer felt what I was trying to observe. And so, having lost that, I wondered why trying. Damn. Damn. Alright. So I wondered why trying to observe feelings makes you stop feeling them. Why does that happen? And so I thought about this for a while, started writing about it, trying to figure it out, and this is eventually what I wrote down in my journal here. To quote it. Some feelings and experiences are hard to observe and understand. I am trying to understand it so I can recreate it. But some emotions and experiences vanish when observed. It's those strong sparks of emotions and experiences that are hard or impossible to observe. You cannot experience and observe some things. Some emotions are like quantum things in terms of observation. You just have to live in the moment. Let emotions have their drive. Don't interrupt by stopping it and trying to observe it. But how can I understand these things then? Maybe through the expression of that experience. You aren't looking to explain it in such detail, but to purely express it. With that record, you can possibly observe it later and try to understand it. It captures a point in time and your experiences in it to be studied later. To get there, though, you have to let emotions drive. And then you express, store that expression in some medium, and later observe it to understand. When you understand, though, you must understand this. You must again let emotions drive. Observation is incompatible, though not fully, with emotional experiences. It is like a dial between emotion and observation. That expression takes skill in taking things you already understand and applying them. You're an explorer mapping the human soul, and especially your own. Things combine and form new things like alchemists. Whoa. Sorry, my bad. Things are hypothesized, tested, learned from, and conclusions made like science. You train to perfect things like an athlete. You are learning to write things like this paragraph, attempting to express the human condition. Observation sparks things and the understanding of them. But only an emotional drive can bring depth to those sparks and make it all come together. You can piece it together from that medium of expression you choose when you observe it. But you must have something to go off of. You cannot go from the emotion to the observation. There needs to be a medium of communication between the two. And then it's got a little bullet point list here. Bullet point 1. Observation makes sparks in the understanding of them. So how does this work, and how can I recreate it again? Bullet point 2. Emotional drive makes sparks and gives them life and depth. This is your lived emotional experiences. Bullet point 3. Expression with a medium, which is probably going to be art, just some form of art, is the communication that bridges the two. It is the storage of emotional drive within something tangible. The communication between the emotional drive and the observation. Little side note, but maybe you don't even need to make the expression medium yourself. Just find something that represents it. A song, a drawing, a book, a poem, a quote, whatever else works. I think making these things yourself works best, but these work too. End of that quote. End of quoting the journal there. So when you observe your emotions, you kind of detach from them. I think that's what happens in observation. You detach from your emotions and take it from a more distant view, from a more detached view, trying to understand how it works. So observation just kind of inherently takes you away from the emotional experience. But in that detachment, you gain understanding. You understand what made you feel certain ways and all of that. And so observation is beneficial to feeling. Once you observe, you then understand. And then once you understand, you can apply that understanding to help guide you when you are feeling things. The emotional drive and the sparks, that is like what actually makes you feel. It is the depth of the emotion. Just staying within that emotional drive, that flow, that experience, just staying within that is what actually makes you feel. As soon as you start observing it, you detach. And to me, it feels like in this emotional drive, these sparks, this experience, you just gotta keep going. You just gotta go with, the saying, go with the flow. Observation is just not compatible. So how do you understand what you feel and be able to feel it? How do I observe and feel, since these are incompatible? And I think this is what I call the expression medium. So while you have that emotional drive, that experience, you express it in some more tangible way than just memory. As I said, you express it in a song, a book, a quote, whatever, whether it's yours or not. And this helps your memory work and remember exactly how those emotions worked, because it is stored in this expression medium. Whether you just wrote the feelings down, all that, there's something more to go off of than just absolute pure in your head memory. And this is the communication between observation and your emotional drive. Your emotional drive will use the expression medium to find a feeling again, to reconnect with a feeling. Observation will use it as more information. Just more information to go off of and understand. And so this is what I'm coming to understand, is how you both feel and understand your emotions. You have to use this expression medium to have communication between the two. You gotta take time to observe your feelings and deconstruct them and understand them. But you also gotta take time to feel your feelings, to express them. You gotta observe to understand. Emotional drive and sparks to feel, and the emotion medium to communicate between the two.